This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So if anyone has any audio issues, request you to kindly log out and rejoin. Hopefully the issue will be fixed. Okay. So I welcome you all once again for the LoadRunner demo session. So the agenda for the today is what is performance testing. Okay. Then why? Obviously, when we discuss what is performance testing, obviously we have to understand why performance testing. In short, I'm writing PT, which stands for performance testing. After that, we will discuss about uh, the a small the load runner architecture. Okay, or what is load runner, or you can say the load runner and its architecture. Okay, because this particular course is all about load runner, right? So we will be discussing about the introduction to load runner and its architecture, and uh, a small practical session on uh, record how to record a script. Okay, how to record a script, and then discussing about the course content. Okay, and then finally a Q&A. So this is our agenda for today. So let's try to understand what is this performance testing all about, because I know most of you guys are from functional testing, or few of them might be from automation as well, but some of them might be completely new to IT as well. So this course is designed in such a way that it is it will begin with the very basics, and the all the sessions, the end will be very detailed. The course is designed in such a way. So if someone is asking you what is performance testing and all those things, before that, I would like to explain you about the software testing, because uh, if you want to understand about performance testing, we just need to discuss one or two points about software testing. So we all know that software testing is divided into two: the functional testing and the non-functional testing. So functional testing is all about testing the functionality of the application. Okay, so it includes regression testing, integration testing, etc. And the tools we use to test our Selenium, UFT, and so on. You might have heard about these tools. Okay, so these tools are part of the functional testing. So functional testing is all about testing the functionality. Okay, so for example, if you want to test the login of a particular application, so what do? You launch the application, you enter some username and password, and you click on login button, and then when you successfully log in, that means the functionality is tested, right? So that is a functionality part. When it comes to non-functional testing, so it is more about testing the non-functional aspects. Okay, it's more about testing the non-functional aspects, like performance, security, usability, and so on. So it focuses more on the performance of the application. The tools we use here is the LoadRunner, Jmeter, etc. We do have other tools also, but I just mentioned some of the most widely used tools here. Okay, so our performance testing will fall under non-functional testing, and the tool we will be learning in this course is LoadRunner. Okay, so this is about the functional testing and the non-functional testing. And let's say that if anyone is asking you to test the functionality, so let's say this is the application. Okay, this is the home page of the application. What would you do to test the login of this particular application? What would you do to test the login part of this application? So generally we launch the application first. Okay, I have launched the application. You enter username and password. Okay, I'm entering username and password, and click on this sign on button or login button. As soon as you click on this login button, you are navigated to home page, right? So what did we do? I'm just validating the functionality of this login part. So yes, I entered valid username and password. I'm able to log in successfully. Okay, but this is all about functional testing. But when it comes to performance testing, it's not about validating the functionality. It's about how fast the user is able to navigate to the home page. Yes, I entered username and password here. See, I'm entering username and password again. I clicked on login button. As a performance tester, I'm more interested in knowing how fast I'm able to navigate to this page, or how fast this page is loading. Okay, or how fast this application is responding. So this is where the performance tester is more interested about. Okay, this is where the performance tester is more interested about. Okay, then why performance testing? Okay, so why we need performance testing? So the goal of the performance testing is to find performance bottlenecks, or you can say performance issues. Okay, so the term we use here is bottlenecks. Generally, it is called as issue. Now, if you find some issue, you call it as a bottleneck in the performance testing terminology. So the main goal of the performance testing is to find the performance bottlenecks rather than finding the functional bugs. Okay, so performance testing will also help in assisting clients, okay, and in fact all the stakeholders in understanding how the application might behave in production. Like, if you do the performance testing, okay, before it goes to production, okay, it will definitely assist in understanding how it might behave in production also. Okay, performance testing will also ensure that all the issues must be fixed before it goes to production. Okay, because the end user will never be happy if the application is very slow, right? If you see the last sentence, if performance testing is not conducted, then applications might face problems like slowness, like the pages loading forever, inconsistency, and it might further result in some serious business loss, right? So imagine, let's say if you are accessing some of the Gmail, let's say you logged in, you clicked on one of the email. So if it takes, let's say 40 seconds or 50 seconds just to display the email content, will the user be happy? No, right? Obviously they will switch on to another email service provider, right? So the performance is such an important part, in this software field. Without that, there will be a serious concern, in terms of the users switching to other alternatives. So who will accept if the pages are loading forever? If you launch an application, if it takes 1 minute, 2 minutes just to load the application, right? So users will be dissatisfied. Okay, so that's the reason performance testing is very, very important, and all the applications must undergo this performance testing phase before it actually goes to production. That means that before the end user uses the application, it has to undergo this performance testing phase. Okay, and there are various tools in the market which does this job, like LoadRunner, Jmeter, and so on. The most widely tools are LoadRunner and Jmeter. That's the reason I'm taking those two names. Okay, so now, as I said here, just now we discussed, I just entered username and password, and I was more interested in understanding or in knowing how much time it has taken to navigate to this page, right? So the performance testing is all about evaluating the system performance in terms of responsiveness. Okay, mostly in terms of responsiveness, how fast the application is responding, how fast the pages are loading. Okay, so now by now, no, I'm assuming that we all got some idea about what is performance testing all about, right? So uh, the tool which we'll be using is LoadRunner, obviously. So before I actually take some questions, okay, I would like to discuss about the architecture as well, about the LoadRunner architecture. So let me go to the slide where the LoadRunner architecture is present. Here you go, and let me start from beginning. So this architecture diagram, what we will be discussing now, we will be deriving this architecture, based out of some questions. Okay, so let's say you have some application. Okay, let's say it's a bank application only. Now, if someone is asking you to test the bank application, okay, let's say someone is asking you to test the bank application with 500 users. Okay, just a second, guys. For the guys who are not able to hear me, I request you to please rejoin once again quickly. I'm sure most of the other participants are able to hear me, right? I kindly request you to rejoin quickly. Okay, so coming to the architecture, back to architecture. So let's say we are testing the bank application, and let's say one of the client has asked us to test the bank application or bank website. So generally, uh, obviously, when you are doing performance testing for the bank website, so uh, would you call it as a performance testing if you test with one user? No, right? So you have to test the performance of an application under some load, under particular workload. Okay, that means with 500 users or 1000 users or 2000 users, something like that. Okay, if you apply some load onto the application, then if you see the performance of that application, then that is called performance testing. Without load, without applying particular workload, okay, it's not called as performance testing at all. Okay, so let's say we have got a bank application to test, and with 500 users. Now, is it possible for us to bring 500 people and give them 500 laptops and 500 desktops or 500 desktops and ask them to log into this bank application, okay, simultaneously, and see how it is responding? Is it possible? So we cannot bring many people together to test how this bank application is responding or performing, right? We need for that purpose we need a particular component which will be responsible to simulate the virtual users. Okay, the component that is responsible to generate or simulate the virtual users is called load generator. Okay, so the component which is responsible to simulate or generate virtual users is called load generator. So this component is purely responsible to generate virtual users. Okay, instead of bringing those 500 people or 1000 people at one place and assigning them laptops or desktops and ask them to log in simultaneously to a bank application and see the performance, we are just using this component called load generator, which is responsible to simulate virtual users. So those virtual users also does the same thing. They try to simulate the real-time user behavior. Okay, now these load generators are also machines only, some highly configured machines, okay, which are capable of generating some good number of users. Okay, how many users each load generator machine will generate? It depends. Okay, we will discuss that in our upcoming sessions in detail. So now we have a component which will generate some virtual users. Now, what is the next task? You should be testing some functionality, right? You should be testing some functionality. Like some of the users will test the login functionality. Some of the users, like let's say there is a bank application and 100 people are accessing that bank application now. Do you think that all the 100 users do the same task? No, right? Some of them will transfer money from one account to another account. Some of them will download a bank statement. Some of them will pay credit card bill, right? So each some of the users perform different tasks. So for simulating that particular scenarios, we have to develop scripts. We have to develop scripts for those functionalities. So the component that is that is required to develop scripts is called Vugen. So Vugen is one of the component within the LoadRunner architecture, which is responsible for developing the scripts. Okay, the scripts can be different, depending on the scenario. One script might be one script might be for downloading a bank statement. The other script might be for transferring money from one account to another account. The other script might be for paying a credit card bill and so on. Okay, now you have load generator ready. Now you have Vugen ready with all the scripts. Now, when you have your scripts ready, there should be some component which should allow us to trigger the execution of those scripts with some load. Okay, so the component which is responsible to trigger the execution under some load, okay, using some load, is called controller or performance center. Controller or performance center. Okay, this particular component is responsible to trigger the execution, okay, by making some configurations, like putting some load and so on. Okay, now you have three components ready. One is load generator, one is viewgen, one is controller or performance center. Now when you trigger the execution through controller or performance center, okay, once the execution is completed, there should be some component which should guide us, okay, in analyzing the results, right? Because at the end of the day, the client is more interested in knowing what are the results after the test, right? So the component should be so powerful that it should definitely help us in providing better observations to client. The best component we have here is the analysis. This component within the LoadRunner architecture is purely responsible to provide analysis. Okay, it provides various graphs, okay, using which we will be able to provide our observations to client. So on a high level, this is the LoadRunner architecture. The different components involved here are load generator, viewgen, controller or performance center, and analysis. Okay, so these are the different components, guys. Okay, now before I take some questions, anyhow, I request you to manually please make a note of all the questions. We will address all the questions at the end of the demo. So this is the high level discussion about the architecture, the LoadRunner architecture. Okay, so without wasting any time, I would like to use one of the component here called viewgen, okay, which is responsible for developing the scripts, right? So I would like to launch the viewgen component now and record a simple flow and show you how the script is being recorded and what is that we will get when you execute. Okay, so let me quickly launch a viewgen. So how to launch viewgen? Once you install, you can go to search and type viewgen. You will see viewgen over here, one of the component, virtual user generator, and you can launch the viewgen. Okay, so as soon as you launch the viewgen, you will be seeing the screen from where you will be allowed to create a new script. Okay, so this is the screen once you launch the viewgen component. Now go to file, click on new script and solution, and select this protocol web HTTP HTML for time being. Okay, and let me create a new folder quickly. Let me create a new folder quickly. The new folder. Okay, so I have created a new folder. Here I'm going to create a new script called demo. Okay, the name of the script I have given is demo, and the location is this. And you can ignore the solution name and solution target for time being. Let me click on create button. So once you click on create, the script will be created with all the uh, prerequisites, like there is a blank screen over here. Okay, which is responsible. This is a blank screen which is responsible, or which is used to record the script or enhance the script. Whatever the script is recorded, you can see the code here. Okay, now this is a home screen, guys. Once you create the script, now here on the left hand side, whatever you see, this is the solution explorer, where you have different options which we will discuss in detail in our upcoming sessions. So right now, what is that we want to record? So whatever the application we have seen here, okay, the web tours, which is a sample application from the Micro Focus itself. So I would like to record a flow which will launch the application, which will log into the application, and then it will log out. 3 steps: launch, login, log out. Okay, so let me close the browser. Okay, and the option here to quickly record is this button over here. Okay, so let me click on that record button. Okay, as soon as you click on the record button, you will see a pop-up window like this, where you have to select few options. the first option, okay, the first option is you know this one which you can ignore for time being. Let's discuss in our upcoming sessions in detail. So the other option is, what is the browser that you want to select? What is the browser that you want to select, for recording? Then the next task, the next text box is, what is the application URL that you want to record? What is the application URL that you want to record? Okay, so let's say you want to record some application, let's say facebook.com. You have to give facebook.com here. Okay, but you should not record those real-time applications, but just giving an example. Okay, then the remaining options we'll see later. Just give the application URL here and click on start recording. The remaining options are supposed to be discussed in our upcoming sessions. Okay, so I'm clicking on start recording over here. So as soon as I click on start recording, what will happen is the Internet Explorer will be launched with the given URL, because in that pop-up window we have selected the browser as Internet Explorer and we have given the application URL. We have given the application URL. So the Internet Explorer will be launched with the given URL automatically. See, now along with that there will be a movable window over here. There will be a movable window over here, and where you see some number keeps on increasing. Okay, if the number keeps on increasing, actually it's a good sign that our tool Vusion is able to record the requests, or you can say record the traffic successfully. Okay, so if the number keeps on increasing, that's fine, it's a good sign. So the number might keep on increasing based on the actions that we perform on the screen. Okay, so as you keep on performing the actions on the screen, the number keeps on increasing. Okay, and there are a few other options over here, like this is stopping the recording, this is pause, okay, and so on. You have some other options which we'll discuss in detail. So first option what I'm going to discuss here is this one, insert new transaction. So the main important option here is insert start transaction. Insert start transaction. So why we need to use this option here is, okay, so you have to so for example, you have to calculate the response time, or you have to know how much time it is taking for login. So basically you need to first start the transaction and then go and perform the action over here, and then again once you perform the action, you have to end that particular transaction. You have to end that particular transaction, so that the Vusion will calculate how much time it has taken to log in based on the start transaction and end transaction you have mentioned here. Okay, so I will insert a start transaction. I will name it as login. I will name it as login, and I'll click on OK button over here. Once you start the transaction, go ahead and enter the username and password. So I'm entering username and password. Okay, entering username and password, and click on login button. Once you click on login button, once you are navigated to this home page, just wait for 4 or 5 seconds and then stop the or end the transaction. So end the transaction, you have to click this button. If you click this button, whatever the transaction you just started, it will show you that option to end. So I'm going to end this login transaction now because I have successfully logged in already. Now after login, what is the next step that you have to perform? For now, I want to log out. So I'm going to start a new transaction again. I'm going to give the name as logout. Okay, I'm going to give the name as logout. Then I'm going to perform that logout action. So click on sign off button on the left hand side. If you want, you can close the browser. Okay, if you want, you can close the browser, and then you can stop this transaction, or you can end this transaction. You can end this transaction logout, and you can stop this entire recording by clicking on the stop recording button. Click on stop recording. Once you click on stop recording, the script will be generated. Whatever the actions we have performed, based on that, the script will be generated. Okay, if you see this pop-up window, just click on close, and you will see the script getting generated. Okay, so this is a recording report. We will discuss about this report in our next sessions. So click on this particular tab beside to that action.c. Okay, so this is where your code got recorded or generated. So if you see this code, okay, how many lines of code generated? hardly 50 lines, hardly 50 lines. Now you see at line number 18, you see LR underscore start underscore transaction. You remember just now I have inserted a start transaction. So for that purpose or for that reason, this particular line got generated. LR underscore start transaction login. And then if you see line number 37, LR underscore end underscore transaction login. That means I have ended that particular transaction, right? So this is a line it got generated. Now, whatever the code that is present between the start transaction and end transaction belongs to login. Okay. Now, whatever the code that is present between the start transaction and end transaction of login belongs to login code. This entire code is regarding the login part. Okay. Now, if you scroll down a little bit and see line number 41, line number 41, you see LR underscore start underscore transaction logout. And if you see line number 53, LR underscore end underscore transaction logout, that means whatever the code that is present between the start transaction and end transaction, it belongs to logout code. This particular code belongs to logout functionality. Okay, can anyone tell me, if I'll scroll up, can anyone tell me what is this code all about? Can anyone tell me what is this code all about based on the discussion we had just now? Anyone? Just a random guess?
Launching the application,
Launching,
launching the internet.
launching the
Yes.
web page.
Yes. So this is all about launching the application. So why didn't we get this particular LR underscore start transaction and LR underscore end transaction for launch? Why didn't we get LR underscore start transaction and LR underscore stop transaction or end transaction for launch? The reason is, whenever you clicked on start recording, by default, the Internet Explorer launched it with this given URL. That's the reason before I actually started transaction, okay, it automatically launched the application through the browser, right? So that's the reason we don't have a LR underscore start transaction for launch. So manually you have to write that LR underscore start underscore, okay, transaction. So if you by mistake if you forget the transaction name or the function name to start the transaction, you can just type LR underscore and so on, and you can do a control space. It will give you the IntelliSense option from which you can select the function. Okay, LR underscore start transaction. So here you need to pass the transaction name. What is the transaction name? The transaction name I'm giving is launch. So manually I have added the start transaction here. Manually I have added. Okay, so after that, after line number 14, I have to manually write end transaction also. The reason is automatically did not write this start and end transaction for launch. Okay, for that purpose I have to write it manually now. So launch, okay, and then you have to write LR underscore auto. The reason to write LR underscore auto we will discuss later. Okay, now without wasting any time, I would like to run this script once. Okay, so before that I would like to make couple of changes which are not that important now, but still I have to make it for our execution purpose. Okay, and let me go to runtime settings. Okay, so now let me run this script once. Okay, I made couple of changes, okay, which we'll discuss later in our upcoming sessions. So let me run this script once. I just ran it. How did I run it? Okay, let me run it again. Sorry for that. So here you see there is a icon, run icon over here. Okay, so if you click on it, you will be able to run the script. So let me click it again. So here you go. The script is executed, and what is that we will observe after execution? This is more important because we are doing the performance testing. So what is that very important for us? The performance of the application. How much time the launch has taken? How much time the login has taken? How much time the logout has taken? Right? So the response time is important. This is the response time. This is the response time. For example, launch here has taken 0.56 seconds. Login has taken 0.32 seconds. Logout has taken 0.25 seconds. Okay, so this is very important, guys. So launch, login, and logout. Okay, all the three transactions passed with the response times of 0.5 second for launch, 0.3 second for login, and 0.25 seconds for logout. So this is how the script is generated in your Fusion. So now whatever the functionality you have, for example, we discussed, right? So let's say if it's a banking application, what is the first scenario, guys? So let's say download statement. What are the possible scenarios? I'm just giving you some example. So what is the second scenario, guys? Transfer money. What is the third scenario? Third scenario can be uh, pay credit card bill. Pay credit card bill, right? So these are some of the possible scenarios for which you need to develop the script. So if you want to develop a script for download statement, what are the steps that are involved? Launch the application, launch bank application, then okay, then login, right? Then login, then you know navigate to your savings account or whatever it is, right? Then select the date range, like from when to when you want to download the bank statement. Let's say from Jan 1st to February 1st, something like that. Then click on download button. So I'm just giving you the possible steps, guys. So these are the possible real steps that we might have to face. Then once you click on the download button, you can log out, right? These are the possible steps, isn't it? You see, launch the bank application, log in, navigate to savings account, select the date range, click on download button. So these are the steps that you need to record, like how we recorded just now, launch, login, and logout for WebTools application. Similarly, you need to record some of these steps like this for each of these scenario in your projects also. Okay, so this is some of the basics about performance testing, why performance testing, LoadRunner architecture, and this particular component called Fusion, how do we record this script, and so on. Okay, it's a very good tool, basically a benchmark tool, okay, in the performance testing space. Okay, everything is bundled into one particular IDE. No, you need not go and download or whatever it is. Everything is bundled into one particular IDE. Okay, so without wasting further time, in the meantime, if you have any questions, request you to kindly make a note of it, and and post all those questions in some time from now. In the next thing is, quickly I would like to discuss about the course content also, which is obviously very important, right? So now this course is all about the LoadRunner, which is one of the benchmark tool in the performance testing space, right? So we begin with the course content uh, with architecture basics, introduction to performance testing process and life cycle. Okay, introduction to LoadRunner. Okay, how to install. Okay, installation also we will only guide you. Okay, then once you install, obviously we will start recording in Fusion, and what are the best scripting practices. Okay, there are different topics to be discussed in that particular space where we discuss about best scripting practices. What are the runtime settings? Okay, so once you record the script, okay, before you run, you need to apply some settings. Okay, because you are running for a huge number of users, right? So you need to take care of the runtime settings. So runtime settings is also very important. Then you have some important concepts like HTML based versus URL based recording, something like checkpoints. Checkpoints is like assertions, guys. If some of you are from functional testing or automation testing, you know assertions, right? So checkpoints are something like assertions, validating something on the page, right? So then the most important module, introduction to C language. Like most of the performance testing guys, or performance testing interested guys, they ask me this question: how much of coding is required to learn performance testing, right? So here, coming to LoadRunner, the very basics of C language is mandatory. I'm not saying no coding is required at all. No, it's not like that. The very basics of C language is mandatory, and we will discuss little bit advanced topics also. But I'm sure guys coming from non-IT background will also definitely understand this. Okay, because it's proven. I have been teaching this since last few years, right? And then I could see so many guys coming from non-IT also. They have learned very quickly, and they were very equal in terms of learning or practicing, when compared with the IT guys. Okay, so the sessions will be in very detail. Okay, starting from very basics. So if someone is asking how much of coding is required, yes, the very basics of C language is required, like what are variables, data types, if statements, loops and conditions and functions. Okay, one or two topics which are advanced, like how to write data to a file, how to read data from file, those are also basics only, but still, we had to write it in this particular section called advanced C language. And also we'll discuss about real-time challenges in scripting and some of the C language basics and all those C language functions and all those things. Okay, we have 1 week of sessions for discussing about the C language and all those things. Okay, then uh, then this important concept called correlation. This particular concept is not only related to LoadRunner. In fact, this is related to other performance testing tools also, like Jmeter. Very, very important. We will discuss this particular topic for a week. That means almost 5 sessions for correlation itself, because it's that important. Then you have one important topic called parameterization, guys. Parameterization, I will tell you in one line. It's all about passing the test data to the script, right? Now we will test with hundreds and thousands of users. Now for testing with hundreds and thousands of users, we definitely need such a huge amount of test data. Now who will pass the test data to the script? The concept related to passing the test data to the script is parameterization. Okay, so we have 3 to 4 sessions with respect to parameterization. Then with this parameterization, we will be completing the scripting part, learning scripting part. Then we will move on to the controller, where we actually trigger the execution, or we will start executing or learning how to run a load test, how to run an endurance test, how to run different types of tests, or how to create different types of scenarios. Okay, executing different types of tests. Then after executing, we will discuss about this analysis component in detail, where we actually fetch so much of information related to how the execution went, what went right, what went wrong. Okay, what are our observations. Okay, it will provide us different metrics in terms of graphs. We will fetch all those graphs and understand those graphs and provide our observations. Okay, so this is about analysis. Once the analysis is done, analyzing results and providing observations is very important. And the next part is drafting email with observations to client. Because see guys, whatever you execute, at the end of the day, the client will only want to know what happened during performance testing. So what went right, what went wrong. So you should be very clear on what are the observations that you are providing to client. So based on your observations only, the client will take a call on whether it should be going to production or not, because performance is very important, right? So I will be taking one separate session to explain you how to draft a clear email to client with all your inputs. Okay, so then after that, we will have a Q&A session on interview questions for 2 to 3 days. Okay, discussing about discussing about all the possible question and answers, okay, which might be asked in the interview. Okay, and along with this, we will not only practice on one application, guys. Okay, we will not only practice scripting on one application, we will be practicing scripting on 5 different applications. Okay, because the scripting is the most important thing. Okay, first thing, because without script you will not be able to execute, right? So scripting is also very important. So for scripting, we'll be practicing on 5 different applications. The reason behind it is every application is different from one another. Each application might behave differently. So the more applications you practice, the more easy for you, the scripting part. Okay, the more easy, the more practice, the more applications you practice, the more challenges you face. The more challenges you face, the more it will be more easy. You will master the scripting part. The more practice, more success. Simple as that, right? Then we will be discussing about one of the component called virtual table server also, which is responsible for passing the test data only, but it has its own advantages, like passing data from one script to another script and so on. Okay, so that thing also we will discuss. Apart from all this, we have some of the bonus topics. The reason why we have added these bonus topics is, if you go to any interview, the questions might not be coming alone from LoadRunner. So let's say they ask you 10 questions. Yes, so 6 to 7 questions might be definitely from LoadRunner because you are attending LoadRunner interview. What about the remaining 3 questions? They might be coming from the other topics which are currently trending in the market. Something like APM tools like AppDynamics, CI/CD, Jenkins, and GitHub, because most of you are from Agile projects. So the Jenkins and GitHub are the trending terms which we have been discussing, which we have been hearing. So I will explain you about what is Jenkins and what is GitHub all about, what is CI/CD, how to trigger the LoadRunner scenarios from Jenkins. Okay, what is this APM tool, application monitoring tool? What is this AppDynamics all about? How do you fetch the metrics and identify bottlenecks from the AppDynamics? Okay, why AppDynamics is important, after learning LoadRunner. Okay, along that you will have one additional session on True Client. Okay, which is one more protocol. Okay, along with that, we will have some discussion about thread dumps and heap dumps also. Okay, along with that, you will also be provided with all the recorded sessions of web services, like how to test web services for performance testing. Okay, good 3 to 4 hours of recorded sessions. Okay, provided, which are very easy. You can go through the sessions. So these are all the bonus topics, guys. These are all the bonus topics. Okay, now any questions from here on? I would like to take and answer. Let me go through the chat window first. If there are any questions there, I will address, and then I will take questions from you directly. Ajay, after how many days I will be job ready as I'm from non-IT background? Ajay, I seriously suggest you to practice for minimum of 1.5 months to 2 months, especially the scripting and execution. So at the end of this course, basically as part of the bonus topics, or when I told you about, we will be practicing about 5 different applications, right? So that means we are practicing on 5 different projects itself. Okay, end to end, I will we will do one project, like let's say like requirements gathering. Okay, I will give you some requirements. I am the client. I will give you some requirements and I will ask you to test. Now you should be able to test it as per the performance testing life cycle. What is performance testing life cycle? What are the different activities a performance tester will do? We will discuss in our next sessions. So it will be a complete end-to-end project, Ajay. So you should be ready. If you practice seriously daily for at least 1.5 months, okay, you should be ready for attending an interview for sure. Okay, so then see, package I cannot tell, Ajay, because it depends on various factors. It depends on the number of years of experience you have. It depends on the company you are attending, right? Because service companies have a different market in terms of providing salary. The product based companies have a different market in terms of providing salary, and so on. Okay, so Ajay, that's the reason. Along with LoadRunner, I have mentioned all the bonus topics like APM tools, AppDynamics. Okay, helping you understand in what is CI/CD, the current trend. Okay, one session on True Client and one session on heap dumps and thread dumps. Right, all those things are some additional topics which will help you in cracking the interview. Rakesh, the course duration it is 35 to 40 days. That means 35 to 40 sessions. Now, initially we started with 30, but the course content kept on increasing. Now it's going to 35 to 40 days any time, 35 to 40 days. So previous batch completed in 42 days. So it depends. It depends on the other batch completed in 39 days, 39 sessions. So it depends on that, because sometimes what happens is the students, or the participants have so many questions. Okay, they while maybe at the time of discussing interview questions, or while discussing bonus topics or whatever it is, they might have so many questions. So I'm okay to extend the session for 3 or 4 days or 5 days, but I want all my participants to learn something out of this, which will definitely help in upskilling their career. Okay, it should definitely benefit them. Currently, it is not supporting iOS, Aishwarya. Okay, there are some hurdles. It's not supporting. Currently, no, it's all about Windows. Samuel, I didn't get your question. Could you please elaborate it? Yes, yes, Rajesh. You can play. You can go ahead and attend for 3 years for sure. Yes, Nibedita. Team will be providing the LR. For you after registering. Team will be getting in touch and they will be providing you. Okay. So I will guide you how to install the trial version and so on, and how to practice and so on, all those things. Okay, Samuel, because there's a demo session, right? We have only 1 hour, right? So I had to cover the core concepts or core agenda, right? So that's the reason we were little bit fast today. But once you start the course, detailed course, we'll be going in detail very slowly. That because this is designed for all, including non-IT guys. So definitely the course will be very slow and in detail for everyone. Just for today, due to the course agenda, we had to increase the pace. Otherwise, it will be very normal. Nivedita, we will guide you, like, if the controller is not working. So, once you register, please do ping in the group. I or the team members, the support team members, okay, will definitely guide you in fixing that issue. Rakesh, apart from classes, you need to practice at least 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours at least, okay, per day, so that you will have that confidence. After 1 month or 2 months, you will definitely have more confidence that you can crack the interview. Yes, yes, Sumati, you can definitely do that. It's so many guys, from non-IT have joined, and they are currently working. I cannot take their names, but I can definitely say that just joining the sessions and listening to the video sessions or recorded sessions doesn't fulfill your task. You have to practice. After the session, you have to practice. You have to ask more and more questions. The more number of questions you ask, the more doubts it will be clarified, and you will be more confident while attending the interview. Okay. uh, Ajay, market is too good, yeah, too good, especially after uh, COVID. I've been observing the market is very good. I could see so many openings. If you just want to give a try, just go ahead and search LoadRunner in any of the job portals. If you want to search, you can just give a try by searching the keyword LoadRunner in any of the job portals. uh, Yes, Hema, it's definitely possible. Okay, this course is designed for all the non-IT guys as well. Okay, J Raman, sessions are from Monday to Friday. Okay, daily 1 hour, and weekends I will be taking some additional sessions as and when required for 1 or 2 hours. Okay, let it be scripting practice, or let it be understanding new concepts, okay, which are out of the box. Okay, or let's say that you have some script issues. Okay, so I will schedule a session on weekend so that you can share the screen, and you can explain me the issue, so that we can all work together to fix the issues. The reason why I would like to schedule a session on weekend, especially to fix the scripting issues from you guys is each one of you might get different issues, right? You might be practicing, the other guy might be practicing. Both of you might get different questions or different errors. Now, if you share the screen and if everyone are present in the session, then it will definitely help others also to understand different issues that we see, right? So that's the reason it will definitely help everyone. Yes, Jay Raman, we have the institute website only, ishatrainingsolutions.com, which is a very good website, which is specifically designed for practicing performance testing. It has very complex features to test. Okay, so that's a very good application. It has very complex features, right? Like managing security questions, complex correlations, and so on. AppDynamics, we will have one session on AppDynamics, around 2 sessions, where I will guide you what is its purpose, how to fetch different metrics, and so on. Yes, the session definitely covers performance test plan, performance test strategy, non-functional requirements gathering, and all the theoretical sessions as well, and all the documents will be provided. Performance engineering and performance testing is different, Jayaraman. Performance engineering is the next level of performance testing. Like what do you do with respect to performance testing? You actually analyze the performance of the application. You try to find out the performance bottlenecks or performance issues. That is the performance testing. Performance engineering is one step more on top, like not only identifying the performance bottlenecks or issues, but you should also be in a position to provide solutions. Like, you should be able to provide some small solutions like, hey, now let's say I have identified one issue. As a performance tester, I said, hey, this particular transaction, or let's say this particular login transaction is taking so much time. Now, as a performance engineer, you should not only tell that the login is taking time, but you should also tell that what are the possible reasons that because of which it is taking time. Okay, if possible, you should be able to provide a solution also. That is the advanced level. But however, the difference is performance tester will definitely analyze the performance of the application and provide the bottlenecks and identify the bottlenecks. Performance engineer will not only identify the bottlenecks, but rather will try to provide the solutions to that. Okay. Uh, yes, Sumati, definitely you can switch. Course duration, as I said, 35 to 40 days. Will there be any placement guidance? So what type of guidance, because we have a continuous Q&A sessions for interview. I will be providing you a document, which you can go through before attending any interviews, like, some question and answers, okay, which will definitely help you. Okay. Apart from that, if there are any openings related to performance testing, Kumar sir will definitely update all of you, right? Whenever he has any information related to any of the performance testing opening, okay, he will definitely help us. Yes, same time, Samuel. Yes, definitely same time. Sivarama Kumar, yes, 45 to 35 to 40 days, or max 40 days max. So if you have, let's say you are practicing, you got any doubt, I will be available for you to fix that issue. Let's say you are practicing, you got any issue, you just take the screenshot and you ping me in the WhatsApp. Based on the error, I will definitely reply immediately. If the error is too complex to explain you, I will definitely take some time in the next session, and I will try to explain it for everyone, so that everyone will understand that issue. Okay, so I will be available throughout the day, okay, including for the guys who are joining from abroad, like US. I will be available, uh, till let's say till let's say 11:30 a.m. Central. okay, till 11:30 a.m. Central Time, or probably 1 hour more than that also. I will be available for US guys and abroad guys like Canada and all. Okay, so I will be available for you to clear the doubts and all those things. Rakesh, you can definitely, without performance testing, there is no application that will go to production. Imagine if the performance testing is not done, what will happen to the applications? Okay, so do you think that let's take this e-commerce websites only. Do you think that Amazon and some applications like Amazon and Flipkart and all those things, do you think that those applications come to live before performance testing? No, definitely no, because so many users log in. Let's say there is a big sale, lakhs, hundreds of thousands of users access that to buy a product at the same time. So without performance, the application will crash, right? So that's the importance of performance testing. It will clear every performance testing stage, then only it will come to live. Without performance testing, the application cannot survive in live. uh, Taraka, you should be able to withstand, provided you master the performance testing and load runner. Okay, it's not like you learn half things and you try to withstand. It doesn't work. So you have to um, give yourself like some time, like 2 months, 2 months, 3 months, because you have some gap, right? You should have some time. You should have some patience, like 2 months or so, more than 2 to 3 months, so that in the meantime you should concentrate only on mastering your skills or upskilling yourself. So when you have your skills, definitely as soon as you get the opportunity, you should be able to grab it. Yes, Sivaramakumar. C language basics will be discussed in this particular LoadRunner course. Rakesh, no. For the placement assurance and all, from my knowledge, no. But I request you to kindly reach out to Kumar sir. He is present in the group, WhatsApp group, whatever we have. So I request you to reach out to Kumar sir on that.
So,
Yeah, let me quickly take all the questions. I will definitely answer your questions. Timing of the sessions, please. Yeah, same session, same time, Ajay. Uh, LoadRunner, LoadRunner and Jmeter are two different tools, Rakesh, uh, within performance testing. Each tool has its own advantages and disadvantages. Uh, so the LoadRunner is the only tool in the market which has which will support more number of protocols. Okay, and it is a benchmark tool in the market. It has full support, from the vendor Micro Focus. Okay, because it's a licensed tool, and especially the banking and financial institutions who give more priority to security of their data. Okay, so they prefer, generally the first priority for them is LoadRunner, because it's a licensed tool. It has security from the vendor. It has support from more number of protocols, and it is a benchmark tool in the market. Okay, that's the reason. Tulsi, I can tell you how to use AppDynamics tool, in order to find out the metrics or observations that you have to provide to client. But the integration is something different. Okay, integration is something different. We need so much of setup for that. We need to have some application, server within our machine. So it's quite not possible, the integration of AppDynamics and LoadRunner. But understanding AppDynamics, what are the different metrics you fetch from AppDynamics and so on, we will definitely discuss. Both are having more demand, Rakesh. As I said, Jmeter is a free version, open source tool, uh, but it has its own advantages and disadvantages. As I said, because this is a LoadRunner course, I've just mentioned the advantages of LoadRunner tool. Okay, and as I said, all major banking and financial institutions prefer LoadRunner due to the importance given by them for their data security. Aishwarya, the application which I mentioned you is the Isha Training Solutions.com only. We have our own application which is specifically designed to practice performance testing. So it's a very good application which has covered so many complex scenarios. Okay, so including some security, how to handle security questions, complex correlations, and so on. Yes, 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. India time. Yes. Yes, Hema, you can definitely understand because the sessions are in. So one more important thing I forgot to mention. Uh, for the guys who are coming from non-IT background, there will be few additional sessions over the weekend, like 1 or 2 additional sessions over the weekend, like 1 or 2 hours or 3 hours of additional sessions over the weekend to help them understand the terms and terminologies of performance testing. Okay, because guys coming from IT, they might understand the terms and terminologies quickly, but I don't want the guys who are coming from non-IT background, okay, to get confused or like that. So I would prefer to take few additional sessions, like couple of additional sessions for them over the weekend to help them understand the basics of performance testing and the terms and terminologies of performance testing. It doesn't mean that only non-IT guys should join. Everyone can join that session. Okay, so that is one more advantage of this course, because we target to we want our participants to master this tool. Okay, someone who doesn't have knowledge on IT shouldn't be behind. Everyone should be on the same pace. Yes, Ajay, I will guide you on the resume preparation. We will send you a few sample resumes also. The bonus topics which I mentioned, right, Aishwarya? So those are required along with this LR to to have to survive, or to get more opportunities in the performance testing. Yes, Hema. All the recordings, all the daily recordings will be provided, and you will have a lifetime access to those recordings. Okay, so I scroll down the complete chat window and I answered all the questions. If there is anything which I didn't answer, please let me know, or you can ask me directly over the call.
Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Yeah. Sorry to interrupt on in between that question and answers.
No problem.
Just before you said that some engineering part, some approach is there. As you said, some transaction is taking more time or login is taking more time. Is the performance tester, what will be the answer you are going to provide? Suppose someone is asking, or we are getting such type of issue. In that case, what will be the answer on that?
So let's say here, let's go to the because you have asked some good advanced question which is out of the box for current session. But anyways, let me quickly go to the application which we have launched. Okay, this was the application which we launched. Now what you are saying is, when I enter username and password here and you click on login, what happens? What happens if it takes more like 30 seconds or 1 minute or 2 minutes? So you are asking, maybe in interview they might ask you what could be the possible reasons, right? So the possible reasons, if you want to tell them the possible reasons for this, first you need to know the architecture of this application. Why you need to know the application architecture is, once you enter the username, once you enter the password, what is happening when you click on login button? What is happening when you click on login button, that you should know. When you click on login button, whether the request is going from the browser to the web server, Okay, these are all some advanced terms which we have to discuss in our upcoming sessions, but still. So the request will go from browser to web server, from web server to app server. Okay, so app server, and then from app server to database. So we have to understand, or we have to analyze in which area or in which space here it is taking more time. Okay, in which space? Okay, because when you click on login button, there will be an underlying architecture, application architecture. Okay, from which through which the request flows. So you have to find out where exactly it is going slow, or where exactly it is running slow. So once you know the underlying application architecture, with the help of APM tools like AppDynamics, you should be able to provide the exact reason why it is running slow, or why we are getting high response time. Like the possible reasons could be the SQL query running in the backend might be too slow. That means the query might be running for a long time, or there might be some code or method or function from the application which is running too slow. So that method or that SQL query which are responsible for running slow, you have to provide it to development team. So first thing, if you go to any interview, if they ask you what could be the possible reason, first thing you have to tell is, you have to understand, as a performance tester, I should understand the underlying application architecture. Okay, from where the request is going, from browser to which server, what is happening there. Okay, then only you should be able to provide your observation, exact reason, the root cause. You will be able to find the root cause then only. So keep it simple. Explain about the importance of underlying architecture to the interviewer. At the same time, you should also try to explain the importance, like about how the request is flowing from app server to web server to app server to database server, and so on. So these are the terms and terminologies which we will discuss in detail in our upcoming session. Okay, how the request flows, uh, what should we do if for high response times, and all those in detail we'll discuss in our upcoming session. Okay, let me take some questions.
Yeah, I got it. Uh, Shall I say something to you, please?
Yeah, please go ahead.
See, maximum customer they are not going to provide such type of APM tools. In that case, if you are using only sorry, using your tool, or you are just making your execution and you are looking on that, then in that case, what will your answer from our end?
So, see, in that case, our answer will be very limited. Okay, limited in sense, we will be able to tell them what is running slow. For example, login functionality is running slow, how much time it is taking, let's say 3 seconds or 5 seconds and so on. But exactly where, for which reason it is running slow, we will not be able to provide without any support from the APM tool, because load runner analysis will definitely tell you how much time it has taken. Login has taken 5 seconds, yes, it will tell 5 seconds. Okay, and we will not be in a position to tell which query has taken so much time, or which method has taken so much time, without using APM tool. Or you should have, there is one more alternative, that you should be so proficient that you should have access to the server box itself, the application server box, and you should be able to see the logs in the server and tell for what reason, or is there any connections that are running slow, is there any method that is running slow. You should be able to have, you should be having access to the application server box. If you don't have access to APM tool, at least you should have access to the application server box directly. If you have access to server box, you should be able to tell some information, like for what reason it is running slow. Okay, so either of that you should have. Only analysis tool, or that means only load runner, will guide you how much time it has taken, which transaction has taken how much time, and so on. Okay, but it might not be able to tell you in detail that which query has taken so much time, or something like that. Okay,
Right, I can
so we will,
understand.
yeah.
In that, please, sorry, I missed something. In application server log, what exactly we are going to looking on onto that?
The server logs, like the entire logs, like how many requests are coming, how much time it has taken to send the response, were there any errors in the server when the test was running. So all these things we can monitor in the server directly, but provided you should have server access to server. all performance testers will not have. In fact, 99% of the testers will not have access to server boxes directly. Very rarely you will have access. Okay, that's the reason APM tools are very famous in the market now, including AppDynamics, Dynatrace, New Relic, and so on. Okay, and in fact, development team they also use some of the APM tools. It doesn't mean that only performance team is using APM tool. Development team will also use APM tool for clear understanding of what is happening. Okay, hope I answered your question. Let me take another question quickly.
Right. I got it up to some extent. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So is PT and LR enough to get into IT industry? Do we have updated? See, Karthik, definitely, if you learn multiple tools, it's an added advantage. But not try to learn both the tools simultaneously. Start with one tool, learn other tool, after that, because both the tools, will do the performance testing only. Okay, the implementation is different. Okay, the tools are different. Learn one tool first, master one tool, then go for another tool. Okay, without mastering one tool, if you try to learn both the tools simultaneously, you might end up learning 50-50 from both the tools, which is not good for anything. Okay, my personal suggestion is to master one tool and go for another tool, whatever it is. Okay, any other questions? Okay, any other questions, guys? It's 20 past 10. So if you let's wait for 2 more minutes. If you have any questions, you can ping in the chat or you can ask me directly. After this session, if you still have any doubts, you can definitely post your questions in the WhatsApp group, or you can ping me directly in the WhatsApp group. I will just ping in the WhatsApp group now after this session. So you can reach out to me directly for any demo related questions. If you have any questions related to the fee structure or anything else, like the placement or whatever it is, you can reach out to Kumar sir directly. He is also available in the group. Okay, so you can reach out to him. Okay.
Yeah, please share your number on chat, please.
Yeah, I will ping you in the WhatsApp group directly. Like I will ping in the group that this is my number. You can directly ping me there. Yeah, this session link will also be provided after this. Once the recording is stopped, maybe by tomorrow morning our time, this particular session link will also be provided to you. You can go through the recorded session again, the demo session again. You can come back to us, with all your questions if you have anything else. Okay. So with that, with your permission, I would like to stop recording here. And I would like to thank all of you for joining this demo session. And I hope to see all of you in the upcoming sessions as well. Thank you all once again. Have a great evening. And thank you once again, everyone.